Hey, what is up guys? How are we doing? And welcome to Gamescom 2019. We're here at ASUS looking at their new PC gaming peripherals, hardware, laptops, everything really. And the first thing that we've got in front of us, we actually have seen a sneak peek before at Computex. So this is their portable gaming display, the XG17. But what we didn't see at Computex, and their secret weapon to actually make this quite useful, is a stand. So the arrangement we have here actually means that you can set this up, you take it everywhere you go, but then when you actually want to use it, it sits upon a top of a laptop, so that when you actually want to play your games, you're not having to sort of look over to the left or to the right. You can sort of use it as you would expect a normal monitor would, but then when you're done with it, we grab the stand, and then this completely folds down and goes into your bag. How useful this is, I'm really not entirely sure. It's a 240 hertz super powerful display, powered over USB, so you can use it with a phone, with a laptop. But are we going to have enough devices that can actually use this at 240 hertz? I'm not entirely sure. And those devices, are you actually then going to be able to use them off battery power? Probably not, but I guess it's the most flexible solution out there. Something that I think is actually going to have arguably a lot more mass appeal though is this. It looks like a pretty normal headset. It's called the Strix Go. It is very portable, as you'd expect. It can be used in wired mode like we had in this setup here. But the thing that's actually really cool about it is it's actually the world's first headset, or at least so they tell me, that has a USB-C receiver. So this little thing that actually does go into the switch, you can see is a normal dongle for a headset, but it's actually USB-C. So this is going to work with mobile phones, it's going to work with the Switch when it's in portable mode. You can see it's slightly bigger than some of the USB receivers that we've seen in the past, but that's because a lot of the electronics are normally actually built into the USB section, whereas they obviously have to put it all inside the bottom bit here. But it's very, very cool tech. And if you are someone that does play on your phone, if you have an ROG phone and a Nintendo Switch, this could actually be something that's right up your alley. And from very small displays, portable, practical displays, to absolutely huge ones. How practical are they? I don't know. This isn't a TV, this is a monitor. It's 43 inches in size. It's called the XG43UQ. And actually, for the right application, I really do like a big display. So if you're playing something like The Witcher, let's say, with a keyboard or mouse or a controller, I find it's really nice just to lean back a little bit and actually take in all of the detail. Because this is 4K, you are going to see all of that detail. It is also HDR. But it's 144 hertz, and this is another one of ASUS's monitors that uses display stream compression technology, which means that you're not going to have to use multiple cables, you're not going to have to lose color information, you're going to get HDR, variable refresh rate, all within one single cable with, I think they said 0.1 milliseconds of added latency, so completely imperceivable. Really, really impressive stuff. The only thing I will note about this one is how good the HDR experience is going to be, because there are only 16 zones of local array dimming in the backlight, which is going to be great for cost because it's going to mean it's actually much more accessible. It's probably going to be near £1,000, but obviously you're losing out on that. I almost punched someone in the face there. Well, that would have been bad. It means you actually almost lose out on all of that HDR wow factor with the added brightness and the fact that you can get a load of darks and a load of brights in the same image. How good would it be? We'll have to see properly in for review, but it doesn't look too bad. So we've talked about small displays and we've talked about large displays, but what about more normal size displays? This is actually very similar to the 27UQ that we saw last year. And this means that it's got 4K resolution, 144 hertz, but the main difference is that this doesn't have that full array local dimming system, and that was actually the thing that made that monitor so expensive. This is actually a lot more accessible, and it doesn't have a fan in the back, so I'm told, which means that you can use this for things like streaming and not having to worry about all this horrible audio in the back of your recordings. The fact that it is a lot cheaper is basically going to mean that if you're doing any sort of serious image work and playing games at the same time, or you just want 4K 144 hertz without breaking the bank, this is a great way of doing it. There's IPS, 90% of DCI P3 color space. I think that for a lot of people, this is probably the sort of thing that they've been after. And then there's also two new gaming mice. We have the Chakram, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a wireless mouse and is also a wireless Qi charging mouse. But the thing that's really interesting about this one is that they've tried to actually fuse a gaming controller with a mouse. So this means that you've actually got a little joystick on the left-hand side, which is where your thumb is going to rest. So instead of being like a sniper button on something like the Gladius 2 or Corsair's M65, this means if you're playing a flight simulator or anything where you actually want a joystick level of control but also want to use a mouse and keyboard, it actually accommodates that. I'm slightly skeptical on how well this is going to work in games that haven't almost been designed with this in mind, but it's a great option to have, and I think that for people that do play these sorts of games, it could be a really nice option in the arsenal. And then there's also the ROG Pugio 2. So this is an ambidextrous mouse, so it's going to be great for lefties and rights. It's a really nice sort of feel in the hand. And both mice actually have this translucent finish, which means that you can see the ROG logo through a layer of plastic. It's a slightly weird look. I'm not entirely sure why they've gone down this route, other than it makes them a little bit different and it stands out in the market. I'm not entirely sure about this design decision. I guess let me know down in the comment section below. And of course, it wouldn't be ROG without actually releasing some new motherboards. So these are actually revisions to the X299 range. We've got the Strix-E Gaming 2 and then the Rampage 6 Extreme Encore. The Strix is actually the motherboard that I use in my personal rig. Asus sent me one a couple of years ago and I've been pretty happy with it, but they've actually upped their game by adding more cooling for more M.2 heat sinks, but it's more actually in the VRMs. We've actually got fans that actually will cool their VRMs up to supporting 550 watts of CPU power, which is pretty crazy. I have no idea how you can get that close to 550 watts, but people do it. People are extreme. But of course, if you are really extreme, you're probably going to want to look at the Encore. So this is very much aimed at the sort of person that's going to do a custom water-cooled loop with literally the best components that they can find. It's actually capable up to 650 watts on that CPU. You've got an even more powerful cooling solution on the VRMs on the top. But both of these boards have something that I think will trickle down a little bit as well into some more mainstream motherboards as time goes on, which is the AI overclocking features. But this now actually works on a per core basis, so it can take a look at your entire system, your system's cooling, what you've got in it, as well as the actual chip itself and the capabilities, if you like, of your individual silicon, and then give you the best performance as it's overclocking each core individually. And while on a 4-core CPU, that might not be that important. When you think now we have absolutely crazy CPUs with higher and higher core counts, this is something that's not only going to save you a lot of time, but going to give you more performance than I think you could probably even do it manually, which is very, very impressive. A massive thank you to you guys for actually checking out this coverage. If you've liked it, please hit the like button. It helps out so much. A massive thank you to Asus for actually taking us out here this year to Gamescom. It's massively appreciated. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this, and I'll see you in the next one.